This is not my typical Destiny 2 video. This video is about my experience as a Destiny 2 player playing Warframe for the first time and all that comes along with it. I've only dabbled in the single player experience in Warframe at this point. I had heard about Warframe about 4 years ago from a channel called Menziah. At the time I think it was called Mr. Menziah, but now it's simply Menziah. YouTube just popped his channel up in my feed, so I gave it a watch, much like some of you have done for me. Huge thanks for that. It's greatly appreciated. I thought it looked interesting, but I didn't give it a deep dive because I was a Destiny 2 player. I was wrapped up more in Destiny 2 than anything else, so in essence I had cursory familiarity with the Warframe name. With all that being said, I had no idea that Warframe, much like Destiny 2, was over 10 years old. It came to Xbox on September 2nd, 2014, so that's my brief history with Warframe. Fast forward to today, I have to say that on first impression, the game's beginning trailer looked really good and gave me a quick synopsis of the story and why I was there. I'm more than likely showing you some of that play in the background I recorded from my earlier session on Warframe. I just hopped right in with no real clue how to play, as I often do in games. That in part is why why campaigns exist. So all of you Warframe veterans, anyone who has played more than 30 minutes, feel free to cut me some major slack in this gameplay you're watching. I'm still trying to figure out the settings that work for me. So if you have some input on which settings you think are best for controller, please let me know. The game is very well put together from a visual standpoint. My movement, however, is not. Being a Destiny player and comparing the character movement to that, it feels far different. It does not look or feel as smooth. Again, my settings were all the default settings, so I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. The aiming, however, feels somewhat like the Division series of games with some of the same movement views. The initial intro to the game frames reminded me of the Crisis Nanosuit. For those of you not familiar with the Crisis series, please give it a look. It's an older set of games, but it was pretty good for its time, and there are elements of Warframe that just brings that nostalgia to me. The Warframe I chose to start with was on recommendation by one of my listeners, so everything that happens going forward is your fault. Of course, I'm kidding. I did look at and take a lot of the feedback I received from listeners on things to do in Warframe. I started a clan, and I'm staying away from the markets and trade spaces for now. One knock for me, simply because I have not figured it out yet, is how to remove or minimize the game chat screen. Any help on that would be appreciated. That's just another reason to dive into those pesky settings. Once you get past the initial movement and weapons tutorial, the missions start. They are fairly straightforward and not overwhelming. Your advisor pops in and tells you what's going on and basically what you need to do to accomplish things. It plays a lot faster than Destiny 2, even though my movement looks spastic as heck. It will get better, I promise. I have an absolute ton of information to catch up on. This is what it must feel like to be a brand new player coming into Destiny 2 with all of the expansions that are playable. I know they're not, so chill, but that's what it most likely feels like. Fresh eyes on a game that's new to you is not a bad feeling at all, provided, of course, that the game is good. And in my opinion, this is indeed good. The sci-fi aspect of Warframe and Destiny is definitely a draw to Destiny players. We've seen the exodus across many of the popular channels. Even some of you have played or continue to play both of these games. More of you seem to be going back to Warframe, and given the current state of Destiny 2, I don't blame you. The Heresy DLC dropped yesterday, and Bungie had to shut the game down not long after, due to server instability. This game has so much to offer, not only because I'm so far behind in its evolution, but because it offers a different kind of fun than Destiny 2 does currently. It does not feel like a slog through the same old. It may get to that point further down the road, but you don't know what you don't know until you do know. Warframe players, please feel free to let me know if you think the game has grown stale for you and what your journey in Warframe has been like. The weapon leveling and achievement screens are something I have to get used to checking out before I do missions, along with adding upgrades. So if you're on the fence about trying out Warframe as a Destiny player, I would recommend it. Dip your toes in and don't be afraid to try a new game. It's fun and is a welcome change of pace. The game is free to play, so there is no risk to you at all. It would be interesting to know how long you've been playing Warframe, since I've been playing Destiny 2 forever and a day. Looking at myself retrospectively in relation to Destiny 2, I feel like I've seen it all. I get disappointed by the bugs and the emergency maintenance that seems to come up with every DLC drop or game update. I've actually come to expect it at this point. Warframe is going to be the last man standing if Bungie doesn't get their stuff together. If they do, there is room for both games most assuredly. If they don't, well, it would be a moot point. The dwindling player numbers are speaking volumes more so than any video. The Destiny community is bitter and fractured, even apathetic. That is something that you don't want to hear if you're Bungie. In short, Warframe is the antithesis of Destiny 2. Let me know your thoughts on Warframe. I just wanted to do a really quick video documenting my first experience with it. It's your time, and I thank you for sharing it with me. Have a great day.